Thank you, Tim, for having me at your program. So we can skip the next two slides of disclaimer. So great to be here. I'm the CEO and Managing Director of Radiopharm Theranostics. I recently created a startup with the focus in radiopharmaceutical. But let's start from the big picture. So in the last 10, 20 years, there has been significant progresses in oncology. But unfortunately, the unmet medical need remain high. In particular, in some disease area, prognosis is still very poor and the unmet needs are significant. Next, please. So we are aware of the more common approach to treat oncology and to try to have positive results. Chemotherapy and targeted therapy are more the traditional approach. More recently, immuno-oncology is playing a significant role, and kind of a new approach is cell and gene therapy. All this together is a huge market, about $290 billion worldwide. But what is happening now, there is an emerging pillar of radiopharmaceutical therapies that is going to play a very important role. And the source of business of radiopharmaceutical is going to be either to be used instead of one of the other modalities that you can see in the slide, or to be used in combination. Next. So, but what are radiopharmaceuticals? So they are based on a very simple concept. You see the tumor and you treat the tumor. What does it mean? You need to have a protein or a monoclonal antibody that specifically bind the tumor cells. And this is very important, a super targeted therapy. And then what you do, you load your peptide or monoclonal antibody with a imaging isotope, a low energy isotope. So the drug goes in the patient body and is able to be uploaded in the tumor cells. So you can see where the tumor is, not only the big tumors, but also the small metastases. When you see where the tumor is, you take exactly the same product, you change isotope. So you switch to a high energy isotope and you inject the drug in the patient. The drug goes exactly in the same place, so where the tumor is, but this time is able to release high energy. And the result of this is disruption of the tumor DNA in the cancer cells. Next slide. So it seems simple to describe, but of course it's very high technology, and this is the reason why it's a lot of interest in the space is coming in the recent period. Personally, I was in Novartis when we decided in 2018 to make 2 acquisitions for a total of $6 billion in the space with AAA and Endocyte. And more companies decide to enter this space that looks very, very promising. Next. So what is the role of Radiopharm Theranostics? We are a new biotech startup. Just 1 year ago, we were born February 2021 here in Australia. The founder is a very well-known entrepreneur, Paul Hopper. He is behind successful biotech listed in the ASX, like Imugene, for example, and we are his last creation. So we raised 20 million Australian dollar in July, 50 million at IPO in November. So very fast from creation to IPO. And we have a big ambition. We have the ambition to become a leader in fighting cancer through the innovative radiopharmaceutical therapies in area of high unmet medical need. Next, please. So this is the team. I already introduced myself. I spent almost 20 years In Novartis, in my last role, I was leading the radiopharmaceutical division of the company as Chief Commercial Officer, and I'm very happy and pleased to be here, of course, in this new journey. We are very talented people in the team. Professor Mosley was professor of nuclear medicine at Cornell University in New York City. Tom Tulip, huge experience in manufacturing and supply chain. And of course, our chairman and founder, Paul Hopper, that I already mentioned before. Next. So what is our business model? We were born during the pandemic. So, you know, we took advantage of it. We decided to have very minimal structural cost, no corporate office, no manufacturing facility, no internal R&D. We are a very small team, 6 employees and 6 part-time consultants, but a very strong network of stakeholders and partners. And the reason we want to put all our investment, all the money we raise, really to accelerate the clinical development of our program. Next. And our focus is really to what is our pipeline. We have 4 unique assets, peptide, small monoclonal antibody, large monoclonal antibody, and 3 out of 4 of our assets has multi-indication potential. That's why you can see that we can play a significant role in terms of potential in 8 different disease areas in oncology. Area of large prevalence like breast cancer, lung cancer, prostate cancer, but also areas where the prevalence is smaller, but the unmet medical need is very high, like glioblastoma or prostate cancer. We have ongoing trials. We are already in human with our imaging agent, and we have a strong plan for the remaining part of 2022. So we plan to start 5 new trials in the remaining month of the year. And what is important, the focus of our company is to learn from the imaging agent, but really to develop the therapeutic solution. And that's the plan, to start 3 new therapeutic trials in the next months, in breast cancer, lung cancer, and in prostate cancer. And we use different isotopes with different characteristics because we really believe that the combination of the right isotope with the right molecule in the right disease area is the potentially right solution for many cancer patients. Next. Not only 2022, but looking at 2023, the plan is equally ambitious. So we want to add to the 3 therapeutic trials that we are starting in this month, 5 additional trials next year. If we are able to do that and we have enough resources to start all of this, we believe that we are building the deepest pipeline in the radiopharmaceutical sector. So we are very excited to what we have in front of us and what is already happening. Next. This is another way to see our pipeline. Is the more traditional by phase. You see the more advanced are the imaging, already phase 1 and phase 2, and 1 step behind, like is normal in this sector of the radiopharmaceutical therapy, you have the therapy. But really, for technology, very differentiated, unique mechanism of action, and the potential to be either first to market or best in class. Next, please. So, in summary, we are in a fast-growing and very high potential market with one of the deepest pipeline. Radiopharmaceutical therapy represents a new pillar in a $290 billion oncology market. Radiopharmaceutical therapy has untapped potential in area of high unmet medical need. There is a lot of interest from big pharma and mid-sized pharma to enter this segment through acquisition and MOA. And in this market, what is the role of Radiopharm Theranostics? We are building that we already have one of the deepest pipeline to our breadth of indication and depth of isotope and technology. We are already in more than 150 patients with our technologies. We maintain an opportunistic business development approach, open to in-license new technology if we find the right one. And of course, the most important element is the ambition to improve outcome for patients living with oncological disease. And with this, I thank you for your attention, and back to you, Tim.
Thank you, Riccardo. I know you're in the States there and appreciate your time. Bang on time, 10 minutes, thank you. We had Telix on our webinar a couple of weeks ago, and there's a question here. How does your approach differ from what Telix has?
Yes, so first of all, we need to recognize that Telix is doing a great job. They are a successful company, able to really grow from the beginning to what they are now. They have good technology, and I really believe that they are doing a good job that is going to help the entire sector. As I mentioned before, we are a $290 billion oncology market. The radiopharmaceutical is still a small one, but has huge potential to grow. So we believe that more company present in the radiopharmaceutical space, more company will help to, train, help physicians to understand these new modalities, support hospital and clinics to have this approach. And what is unique about us? What we have different from other radiopharmaceutical company, we have very different modalities. We have peptide, small monoclonal antibody, large monoclonal antibody, and also we have different isotope. We really go from alpha and beta isotope, and the combination of the right isotope with our molecule, we believe can be unique. We selected our pipeline based on the potential to be first to market or best in class. We decided not to go in areas that are me too. And so we believe we are unique in this space.
There's a very technical question that I'll allow you to answer online in a moment, if you don't mind. There's a question here. What is your current cash burn rate? You've raised 70 million this year. How do you anticipate that capital will be used over the next 12 months?
Yeah, as I showed at the beginning, we are a company that wants to be very lean in terms of internal expenses and put all the money in the clinical development. We made our analysis of our cash flow, and we have enough investment to start not only the 3 new trials that I mentioned before in 2022, but also to start the trial in 2023. So we are confident that we have enough cash to start all this operation and to bring the company to the next step.
Now, it's a big dream, it's a big pipeline. You've kind of got 7 studies on the go. What should investors be focusing on the short to medium terms in terms of catalysts for the share price?
Yeah, so we have some trials that are going to read out in the near future. For example, our phase 2 trial in brain metastasis with Pivalate is going to read out June this year. This is an important moment, but even more important for us is to look at the future and the potential. So our ability to start the therapeutic clinical trials in the time frame that I mentioned before, so around summer this year, and before end of the year, have 3 new therapeutic trials and start the other next year, are really what will make this different for the future.